Hello and welcome to the United Wrestling Podcast. My name is Nick Bonanno. I am the senior official for the United Wrestling Network and the producer of wrestling operations for the entire organization. Tonight, we're taking a trip down to Arizona for our guest this week. He is a three-time Arizona State champion and Phoenix's favorite son, EJ Sparks. Hey, EJ.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, good to
What's
see
up,
you.
EJ?
Of course, the man you just heard there is Jeramie McPeek, broadcaster, social media extraordinaire, and so many other things. Thanks for coming on tonight, Jeramie.
Yeah, of course. I figured if we're going to have Phoenix's favorite son, I should wear my Phoenix Suns digital championship since the team is 8-0 right now in the bubble in Orlando. So a little shout out to my sons and to Phoenix's favorite son right there.
Is that a superstition? You have to wear it all the time now, every time you do a live stream?
Maybe, perhaps.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Of course, featured heavily in Championship Wrestling from Arizona. The United fans may have seen you a couple times in Hollywood. But I'm curious, how did you first hear about Championship Wrestling from Arizona?
Actually, I was watching Monday Night Raw, and there was a commercial that came on TV for Championship Wrestling from Arizona, back when it was at the casino here in Tucson, actually. And I was like, okay, there's a promotion on TV in Tucson, and I live here in Tucson. How do I not know about this? So I started reaching out to different people here and there, and I came to a show just to watch and hang out, and that's when I met everybody behind the scenes, and that was like early 2017, I think. Yeah.
And you were already wrestling at that point, right? I know you started training in 2014, but I'm not sure where you had your first matches early on.
Yeah, I was already wrestling at that point. Just a few places here and there, and I traveled to California and Utah like once, but I was just wrestling in a bunch of different places here.
So what was it? If you recall, the first time out at the Desert Diamond Casino there wasn't much of a locker room backstage. I remember that, but moving over to television, what was it like being in that room, being under the lights?
It was kind of surreal, just kind of crazy. I remember just kind of like watching the monitors that were hanging above, just watching how everything was looking on television, and it was so new to me because at this point I was only like, I don't know, like 2 years into the business, so I was like mind blown. I was like a kid in a candy store practically. So it was just pretty cool, and I just couldn't wait to be a part of the experience and just, get working with you guys.
That was your first time. Yeah. That was your first time wrestling on television, though, correct?
Correct. Yes.
How different was that for you, going from just wrestling in a small venue for the fans there in person to actually performing for fans at home watching on TV?
It's different on many different levels, just because you want to perform a lot better knowing that it's on TV and that you're gonna see this footage later and you're gonna watch it back. Like, it's so different from just having free reign doing whatever you want, like when you're wrestling some of the other shows. And then with this, having to pay attention to cameras here and there, and just, I don't know, all of it's kind of like, it's a lot to take in, but it was a great experience. Great.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like maybe a lot of fans or people who haven't been backstage at or present for a TV, I guess, production meeting out in the ring with wrestling, that they might not understand is that there is a lot of movement that goes into that is specific to television. That people don't think about. One I was just thinking about last night actually was the idea. We call it running. Hold on, sorry, is my audio still kind of popping?
Yeah.
No, okay. I'll try that. All right. One thing that I notice a lot or think about a lot is the idea of what we call running east-west, which is if you're looking at me and this is the ring, to not run directly to back and forth to the camera, but if you run this way, your moves look better. It looks better on camera. It's easier for them to get the shot, and overall, you're just going to look like a better star and it makes more like you know what you're doing. That's something that I feel like it does take people some time to, among all the other finding the cameras, just knowing kind of where to reposition your moves and things like that. So, was that something that you you thought about or came in?
Well, actually, the ropes, it wasn't a big issue. That wasn't the thing that it took a while to adapt to. The thing that took a while for me was the hard cam. Playing towards the hard, especially because there wasn't a whole lot of people on that side over there. And so when they're like, play towards the hard cam, that's where the money is. It was weird to get used to because, wrestling, all these other shows, you're so used to everything being direct towards the crowd. And then you have this area over here where there's like either nobody or very little people, and you're still having to play that way. So that one was kind of tricky for me.
Sure. So you're saying they put all the little people on the hard cam side? Never mind. Never mind. Sorry. Bad joke.
Hey, if Arizona's going to start a minis division, I'm all for that. That's very welcome in the Copper State. Awesome. Is that one of them? Is that right?
It's not actually. I mean, I think that's a technical name from years ago, but it's actually the Grand Canyon State is what everybody here knows.
Canyon State. So okay, that makes way more sense.
I do notice some of you Hollywood guys call it the Copper State from here and there, and I keep meaning to bring that up. Nobody here in Arizona calls it the Copper State.
I'll make a point to tell everyone in the van that. It's because even as we drive into the state, I'm sure it must say Grand Canyon State on the Welcome to Arizona sign.
I'm sure.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna step away for a moment just to see if I could fix my audio. Okay. So I leave it to Jeramie. I will be back shortly. Okay.
Sure. Okay, so EJ, we got a chance to catch up just a week or so ago when we filmed your interview for the Push series, which debuted on the United channels yesterday. Talk about where you came up with the name EJ Sparks. I know your real name is Eric Johnson, but where did EJ Sparks come from?
So when I was first starting to train, I said if I wasn't using my real name, Eric Johnson, I wanted to use my initials. I wanted to be EJ something. And because I always thought the AJ Styles sounded cool, CM Punk sounded cool. And I was trying to think, maybe I could be EJ Flash because Dwayne Wade, love Dwayne Wade. And I thought of EJ Impact, EJ Anarchy, and none of them were sticking. And as some of you know that I am a dancer, there was a dancer in my crew back in high school. His name was Kid Spark. That was his dance name.
Okay.
But he went away to Mexico a while ago. And we've always missed him ever since then. And I was why don't I just take that name, that Spark, and just put it on EJ? So EJ Sparks was kind of born from that.
I like it. It's EJ Flash. So you could have been like John Morrison, where you were like Johnny Mundo and Johnny Impact and Johnny Survivor. You could have been EJ with all these different. Maybe you still will someday. Maybe we'll see EJ Flash in AEW at some point.
You never know.
Talk about how you first grew up as a wrestling fan. I mean, from what it sounded like when we talked, you basically were born into it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like that discussion we had previously, everyone on my mom's side watched it. Everyone on my dad's side watched wrestling, and of course, we'd go over to uncles and aunties' house watching WCW, and it was pretty much being born into it because everybody, it was tradition to just all meet up at one house and watch a big event, or even if it was just Monday Nitro or anything like that. And of course, my dad used to take me to wrestling shows back when we lived in Texas and whatnot. So, I mean, it pretty much I can't even remember when I started being a wrestling fan. I just remember always liking it.
You remember the first show you ever went to in person?
I do not. I just know my dad talks about it. I had to be 2 or 3 years old, and I know that Harlem Heat were facing the Giant and Lex Luger in WCW.
Okay.
I have no idea what it was or anything like that, but that's pretty much the only thing from the show.
That's awesome. And who were you? There's Nick. He's back.
Hey.
Who were some of your favorites growing up, EJ, that you watched? Some of the guys that you looked up to as a kid.
There were 3 guys in particular. It was always Booker T, Shawn Michaels, and Jeff Hardy. Those are my 3 guys that I always looked up to, and I just felt like those 3 guys just had a match, and they really made me want to actually get in this business and try to make something.
Shawn was always my favorite.
Man, if I can step in for a moment, I think I heard a moment ago you said that you're a dancer, EJ. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
What's your dance background? I'm surprised I haven't thought about we haven't talked about this before.
Yeah. So I started dancing when I was maybe 8 or 9, pretty much just watching Michael Jackson. And growing up, a lot of the dance movies that are real popular came out, You Got Served, Step Up, all that stuff. And I pretty much learned from watching those movies and started my own dance crew in high school. And we used to perform at talent shows, quinceañeras, and we go to Phoenix and LA and all kinds of different places to do dance battles and whatnot. So dance has always been a huge part of my life. So
Nick, you need to watch Instagram more. EJ's always posting his dance moves on Instagram.
I'll have to get right on that. My apologies. Well, you just gained a follower right now, in addition to whoever's watching. Man, no, because I'm always I've thought about dance a lot in the last 2 years, and especially the way that it relates to wrestling. So I mean, would you say that? How would you say that your background in that helped you translate into actually training and performing as a professional wrestler from being a dancer?
That's just it. Performing. So dancing, whether it be at school or later on, like at a club or just doing a performance, like it's always all eyes on me whenever I'm dancing or performing or anything. And that really just helped me with, just stage presence and like do some cool moves in there to make the crowd go woo. Just like, I always felt like I was born to be an entertainer no matter what path I went down. And that was like the biggest thing, is just getting used to performing in front of a huge crowd and just wowing everybody and making them go home remembering something that I did.
Love it. Pop over to the chat. Sorry, go ahead.
We might need to bring your dance troupe to Championship Wrestling from Arizona, have them escort you to the ring for a maybe your big last man standing match with Ray Rosas whenever we get a chance to bring that back.
I actually did think about that for AZ 150 last year, but we couldn't get it together.
There's still time. It's all right. I was going to say, I'm going to jump into the chat for a second. Our announcer over at Hollywood is Adnan Qureshi. He has a question. If EJ could apply one Dragon Ball technique to wrestling, what would that be?
Wow. What a question.
Kind of a big question.
Big question. Oh, geez. One Dragon Ball technique to wrestling? Probably the multi-form technique. What that is, for those who don't know, this guy Tien Shinhan in Dragon Ball, he creates like 3 or 4 different copies of himself, and he's able to like fight with those like different copies. So I mean, for those who like to come in and sneak up on me in rings and whatnot, I just make copies of myself and they can have my back,
We're looking at you, Ray Rosas.
You could have your copies to protect against future Silver Spotlight cash-ins and Ray Rosas attacking you in the back.
Yes.
I like it.
It's funny. Okay, so a thing that I noticed in your matches that I feel adds a lot of drama, but maybe also a safety concern is in big moments, I noticed that the beads will break out of your hair. How? I guess I see you're wearing something now, but do you always have the beads in your hair? And I guess what significance does that have to you as a person?
Well, I always would change up my hair every couple of years. And I wanted to just try something new with the beads. If you go back to some of the 2017 and 2018 tapings, I just had the braids straight back and I just had a few beads on the end. And this is just something I thought of because I wanted a look that made me stand out from the rest. I know that there's plenty of people that have dreads, but my hair is not in dreads. It's just braided up with crazy colorful beads. That's different colors every show. So the only significance is just wanting to stand out from the rest and have my own unique flavor,
Cool. Okay. Let's see.
Do any of your opponents ever complain when they hit them or get in a headlock and just scrape up their arms at all, or?
No, it's usually I get jokes from people around different places that I travel that they found my beads in the ring canvas or whatever. It's all fun.
It's funny, as a referee going to the ring after a match, maybe one of yours or someone else's, where you're looking around before the competitors come out and there's just stuff on the mat. And it's what just happened? I found earrings. I found obviously beads. I found all kinds of things. So it tells a little story if I wasn't able to catch that match. But that's always a thing that tells the story on the canvas before even anything happens or something that just happened. So I think I always get a kick out of is what can be found from the damage that had just been done.
You should collect all those, Nick. You could have a nice little treasure chest of.
I would say I usually throw them in my pockets, if not just for safety, but to see if you want this back. Because throughout the years, even guys who have a certain things that they wear to the ring. I remember when I was younger, I used to referee for Tony Nese a lot before he went to WWE, and he would always come out with a certain necklace on, and he'd always just give it to the ref to put in their pocket, because if he left it in his ring jacket or something, it might get lost or stolen or whatever. The pockets of the referee is a safe haven for anyone who might be afraid of things. And also, Adrian Quest, one of our United Tag Champions, would sometimes give me something to keep in my pockets there. I don't know if it was grills or just his chains. So, but yeah. So as a resource in the future. So
EJ, how much are you missing wrestling right now? It's been what, 5-6 months since your last match?
Yeah, like my last match was like March. It was like the second or third weekend of March. I'm missing it so much. And actually watching my interview on the push, just seeing all the highlights and everything, like it made me miss wrestling that much more. Like it's hard to talk about. Like I want to wrestle so bad, I can't right now. Yeah.
What have you been able to do? What have you been able to do to stay in shape, keep your cardio up? In the times as things are still down for the moment.
Well, pretty much just home workouts. I do a high interval training, and I'm doing my boxing training almost every single day. And just like it's been a while, but like was going on like hikes and stuff like that. And I have my jump rope, so I still go outside and jump rope and whatnot. So, I mean, with the gym being closed so long, you kind of have to get creative. And thankfully, I do know a lot of homework to do, and I just make sure I just turn up the intensity a little bit every single day to make sure I'm staying in shape as best I can.
Excellent.
And you're actually a kickboxing trainer, right? Have you been able to do that at all during this time, or are you not able to train people at the moment?
Yeah, not able to train people right now because just like all the other gyms, the kickboxing gym is closed down too, which is very unfortunate. But just got to do what you got to do to keep pushing, keep staying in shape, and
How have you incorporated kickboxing into your actually wrestling style?
Well, the way I've incorporated it is it brings more legitimacy to who I am as a performer and as an athlete, because everybody can throw kicks and punches in there, but you can definitely tell when somebody like has that in their background, like that they've been trained in this style and they're able to actually hurt somebody doing this kind of stuff and do it to like throw off my opponents, and I'm able to slip out and duck and just make sure that they can't catch me because I have this kickboxing knowledge in my mind that they don't really know anything about. So keeps them kind of up on their toes because they don't really know what's coming.
Yeah. Something that occurred to me a couple weeks ago, we were talking to Ray Rosas about the whenever we do get back to Arizona, having the match against yourself. Do you see it as an advantage being in Arizona and being able to train in that climate, versus Ray, who's stuck in California, maybe can't get the same level of heat or the conditions that create the atmosphere that'll take place in the Nile Theater? So do you find that being able to train in that kind of environment is a great advantage to you?
Not necessarily, because I mean, it is Ray Rosas after all. He's gonna try and take whatever sneaky route he has, in his back pocket to try and win. So it really doesn't matter how much I meant or anything. Like I gotta watch out for his sneaky tricks and whatnot. So I mean, and if he preferred it, we could take his turf in California there too. So
that's true.
Had you thought about that last man standing match much before that Grand Canyon Clash event was postponed? And had you ever been in a last man standing match before?
No, it would have been my first last man standing match, so I was actually very excited for it. I was very excited because I've never done one before, and of course I couldn't wait to get my hands on Ray because of everything that he. So the fact that everything closed down literally a couple days or like a day before the show, it like sucked the life out of me. I was like, is this a conspiracy? Is Ray doing something so he doesn't have to fight me or something? What's going on?
Maybe he's afraid of you. I don't know.
Thinking the same thing, but no.
I could be making this up, but did you used to have braces? Like when you're wrestling?
Yes, I actually did. I actually just got them taken off like a few days ago.
Oh, really? Was that recently? I guess.
Yeah, it was very recent. Literally the other day.
So, had you had them the entire time you've been wrestling up until that point, or is that something that happened, I guess, during your career so far?
I've had them. I've had them career, and you know it kind of sucked having them because there's plenty of times I got knocked out. R3 in Hollywood, one of my back braces actually latched onto my cheek in the middle of the match.
Ooh.
And it was hooked in there, and it was like bleeding out of my mouth. Like it was in the middle of the match, so it's not like I was trying to fix it, but I was trying to keep going. So it kind of sucked. Yeah, literally just a few days ago, I got these bad ones.
I would say, yeah, imagine. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
I remember when I had braces when I was a teenager, and I remember the first week after I got them off, I was just like licking the front of my teeth for I was like doing that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what those feel like. Yeah. I forgot. It's not just sharp-ish.
Yeah. Exactly. Weird. So weird.
What was it called? So earlier we started this conversation off by talking about how wrestling was a part of your family from when you were as young as you can remember. And their family's still very supportive of you now. How have they, I guess, been a part of your career with Championship Wrestling from Arizona?
So pretty much they come with me to just about every single one of the shows, especially when it's a big show like Hollywood or Arizona. And they pretty much just support me, and they all think it's so cool that I'm doing this because we all grew up watching this, from my grandpa to my parents, everybody. And like, it's just cool having them there because it makes moments that much bigger. Especially considering a lot of my family lives in Florida or in Alabama, to have like my immediate family there and witness like making history is always pretty cool.
Do they watch the shows weekly as well?
Oh, yeah.
And to talk about your mom, I know she's a big fan, and she almost got into the ring at one point when you're that night you won your first Arizona State championship. She grabbed a chair, and I think it was your sister who had to like try to pull the chair away from her.
Yeah. I think it was my sister, and like I think it was Alex Sawyer's like dad or somebody who had to like, stop me because she's so invested. She is so invested, and no matter what, I'm still her baby boy. I'm the youngest, so she hates seeing me get hurt or get cheated. So, and she just thinks, "Mama to the rescue," and wants to get in there.
Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you hear that static? It's Ray Rosas. Ray Rosas is here. My gosh.
Hey.
I didn't think you'd show up, Ray. Thanks for coming. Jeez.
Hey, you invite Ray Rosas to a party, he's gonna be there.
You in a helicopter right now? What's that get up?
It's what I call the studio, the office. It's the inside of my car. It's where I spend a lot of my time on the roads.
Well, now that you're both here, we were actually just talking about what would have been a last man standing match between you and EJ at Grand Canyon Clash this year, and I brought up something
for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
For this right here.
What is that, Ray? Tell us.
Oh, this right here. This is the Arizona State Championship right here. My baby, right here, sitting right here next to me. It always rides in the passenger seat.
Your baby.
I put a seatbelt on it too, just make sure that I don't fly out when I.
Man.
Could you see it, EJ? Could get a good look there. Nice. Yeah.
Ray, about how long have you held that title?
But go on.
Now,
what were you guys talking about?
I was going to say.
I stopped counting the days.
gets to that point. Yeah. We were just talking about. I brought up to EJ that in anticipation of the what would have been their last man standing match, that he might have an advantage over you because he trains in the Arizona climate. I think I brought this up to you a few weeks ago when I was talking with you on your own chat on stream here. He, if I'm remembering this correctly, he said maybe it isn't an advantage because he is going up against Ray Rosas. So do you have a rebuttal to that? That he sees you as as much of a challenge as anybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty big challenge for anybody that's going to be competing against me for the title, especially when I'm going to be desperate to hold on to this championship. I mean, I know my way around some underhanded tactics, so I do what I have to do to win, regardless if I'm what do you call it? Maybe a bit at a disadvantage due to the climate that a person may be training in. It's not exactly a winter wonderland here in California. We got our heat waves too.
That is true.
Yeah. But like I said, he may have a conditioning advantage, but I have the experience. I have the years, the time, and I think that will always beat youth and ability, is age and experience.
EJ, any reaction? Remember, Ray is he just had a new baby into his family. He's going to be more tired than ever before. So maybe that's something you could take. And if you want to, if last man standing is largely about endurance, right? So
we've got a loss for words there.
Where did he go? He's gone now. Well, I guess we're here at Ray Rosas now. Jeramie, do you have anything to ask our Arizona State champion? 2020.
I'm taking over, baby. I'm taking over.
Currently the most decorated man in United Wrestling Network.
Ray, EJ suggested that you might have been behind the cancellation of the Grand Canyon Clash only a day or two before that big event and your rematch in the last man standing. Now you've seemed to have kicked him out of his own live chat here on Facebook.
Well, I can't deny or confirm that I was the one responsible for the cancellation. But if it, I guess I could take credit just to kind of help bolster the fact that I am willing to do whatever it takes to remain the Arizona State champion. Is he coming back?
I think he's back.
He is.
We got you, EJ. You there?
You look so serious, so angry.
Yeah,
I don't know
what kicked me out of there. I think it's kind of funny that you say that you're experienced and you're desperate for the championship. I think that's hilarious. Experience in what? And stabbing in the back and cheating? Like, dude, come on, man. Like, don't come on here with all that. Don't do that. That's funny, right? Funny. You funny.
Bad Arizona connection there. I actually am really looking forward to hearing what you have to say, EJ. I respect you a lot, and in a few ways, I'm a little afraid of you. That's why I have to do these underhanded tactics to maintain the advantage that I have. I'm a man with no honor. I have no shame. I'll do whatever I have to do to win. Ask Nick. He knows. He knows firsthand.
I do know, and if I were to explain the tactics of Ray Rosas, I would say he's Machiavellian, if I'm using that phrase correctly. The ends will justify the means, and those means might not be the most honorable, if I can say so, based on the experiences I've had with Ray. Just this year alone, I as much as I may disagree with the methods, I have to agree with the effectiveness that he's been able to do them, including what he needed to do to win the Arizona State Championship.
You can't argue with results. It doesn't matter how, but the record shows Arizona State champion, PP3 Cup winner, future Hollywood Heritage champion, future NWA World Heavyweight champion, future United Wrestling Network Hall of Famer, so on and so on. Just how it doesn't matter how you get there. It's just that you get there.
You mentioned the NWA. Maybe we could finally have this last man standing match on the new Primetime Live debuting September 15th.
That's right.
I love that. I would love that. EJ's got to come over into my neck of the woods if he wants that.
EJ, any thoughts of going to pay-per-view?
Gladly. I'm down.
Gladly. Well, it's something I certainly would hope to see
Ray,
on.
Real quick, I just want to say, I mean, sorry guys, I think my connection's bad, but Ray, I just really wanted to say, like, I used to really like actually look up to you, and I really respected you, and I still think it's kind of crazy how that last thing went down, the back, like you snuck me, and then you went out there and you beat Jamie Beachler and how could you hold the championship and like proudly say that that's yours and you're the champion, knowing that you never actually beat me for it? Like, how could you even call yourself a champion, dude? Like, real talk.
I'm a little. At first, I was like, oh wow, he respects me and he looks up to me, and then you go and say something like that I don't deserve the belt or that I'm unworthy of this championship belt. My name alone, Ray Rosas, should always be a perennial champion, perennial number one contender. I should always be held in. I actually make this belt mean more. Look at this. Bye, EJ. Look at that. Unreliable, but Ray Rosas is Arizona State champion. Holding it right here in sunny California. I bet that probably irritates him too. That the Arizona State championship is not even in the state.
I think it eats at him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
kind of eats at me, to be honest. I kind of feel like it shouldn't be able to leave the border, but.
Jeremy, where's your title? You got to go head to head with Ray.
There it is, Ray.
Oh, what is that?
Right there.
Oh,
it's the Phoenix Suns Digital Championship right there.
Oh,
the reigning champion for 4 straight years now.
I'm gonna have to steal that title too.
Gonna watch my back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say okay, Ray is the 2020 PP3 Cup bearer, which means he is entitled to a match against anyone. He can take a challenge at any United title that's defended in the entire United Wrestling Network. So any title that's defended within it. Doesn't have to be a United title, just any title that is there. So if you bring that to the Nile Theater, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, you better believe
you know it could happen. As long as there's a referee present, and there currently is one. That's something I would watch your back with that as well. And hopefully that won't be necessary.
I might leave that in the home office. Yeah.
Is he back? Let's see. Imagine. Hello.
EJ.
All right,
are you using your? Oh, is he using his neighbor's Wi-Fi?
Sure.
Well, I mean, let's talk about EJ Sparks. This kid, he's talented, man. The first time I wrestled EJ Sparks was many years ago. It was actually in the inaugural Arizona State Championship tournament. All right. I remember who I was originally supposed to face in that tournament, but I remember good old producer Pete. He's like, hey, I'm going to put you in there with EJ. He's a really good kid. I need you to go in there and test him. I need you to go in there and push him. And when one of my good friends tells me he needs me to do a job for him, I'm going to do what I can to deliver. And so I remember I want to say he also wrestled Killer Cross earlier that day.
He did.
And yeah, so he had a hell of a day when he has to get into a Killer Cross and Ray Rosas in the same day. So and for him to get through it, good for him. The cross match was relatively short. Of course, Killer Cross, he's a beast. He's gonna run through everybody. So for an inexperienced young EJ Sparks to go up against someone like that, yeah, you're probably going to be in over your head a little bit. But my job wasn't to eat him up. My job was to push him and test him. And he passed. I remember him standing in the ring with him. We're face to face. And I remember this particular moment vividly that we're pushing each other hard, wrestling match, hard moves, pinfalls, kickouts, and I'm staring at him, and I'm like, "Get up, kid! Show me what you got. Show me what you got." And then he followed up with one of the biggest forearm smashes that I've been hit with in a long time at that point. And that's when I knew, all right, this kid's pretty good. This kid's he's ready to eat. He's at the big kid table. Yeah, and I went up to Peter and I told him he was. Oh, wait, shh, don't tell him I said any of that stuff. He's back, I think. EJ.
Shucks. I feel like I see a little movement of as he's coming back in, and then the stream freezes there.
I
heard
EJ,
I think we're going to catch up with you again in a little bit.
Smart guy.
Oh, you can hear that? Okay, great. I think Ray was being genuine there. Like, not that he wasn't earlier, but like in a moment where perhaps he thought that not all ears were listening, he actually had said some very nice things to say about you. So, do you have any? Have you learned anything from Ray Rosas, EJ, as a person, as a competitor?
I agree. I can't hear.
Speaking of the that Arizona State Championship tournament, when it was first crowned, I see someone in the comments there, Nick. I don't know if you noticed who just chimed in.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
It's a Facebook comment. 735.
No. Oh, sorry.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah, I wrestled Gino in that tournament too.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah. When I defeated EJ, I wrestled Gino in the following round.
First Arizona State champion there, and also the man who lost to EJ when EJ won his first Arizona State championship.
That's right.
What a story, huh? What a story for EJ to go from there all the way to the top. You get behind those kind of stories. Those are the kind of stories that sell tickets and get the fans excited when they hear theme music. EJ Sparks is such an exciting talent. Like I said, for taking from that point, and I think that I think I've had a hand in every major moment of growth for EJ Sparks. We've clashed so many different times. When he came out here to California for Millennium Pro Wrestling, we wrestled each other.
Was he in the Ray Rosas Challenge, Open Challenge?
He was in the Ray Rosas Open Challenge, and I remember contacting him. Or he reached out to me about it, and I remember telling him, like, you didn't have to put your name in the challenge. You had a match, but you didn't have to put your name in the challenge. Your talent alone would have got you work out here. It's just, this is now just a little icing on the cake, so to speak. And we did eventually bring him back to wrestle Diego Valens in a great match. But going and then seeing him going from this he's a hot young baby face all the way up into giving him this edge that he has now. Because once he found out that it was moi that had attacked him and cost him his title, you saw a whole different side of him, a whole lot of aggression, and I felt every single one of those punching kicks when he found out that I probably deserved. But I felt it, and I felt that gear change. I felt the character change, felt the attitude change, and I get a little twinge of like satisfaction knowing that I was able to corrupt ever so slightly, Phoenix's favorite son, this shining white light of charisma and do-gooders, but for me, I was able to just make them hate just a little bit.
Interesting choice of words there. Feel
Ray,
the hate
of course,
flowing through you.
We're talking a lot about Arizona, but this is the United Wrestling Network podcast. When can fans expect you to cash in that PP3 cup?
Well, the cool thing about this whole break that we've been going through, been able to sit and plan out, try to map out different scenarios for when I eventually cash in. Do I want to do it right away because I'm just been chomping at the bit to try to make something happen, or do I want to wait a little bit longer? Maybe I'll wait right before the next PP3 Cup tournament. Maybe I'll wait till the next tournament, compete it again, and then get 2 title shots. I don't think that's ever been done.
Inventive. I can't say
Yeah.
that. I don't think it has. Actually,
Yeah.
All right, so that sort of has been done. Were you at the Coastline Clash we did at the Irvine Improv?
Yes, I was there.
Because the main event of that evening. Oh, that's right. You wrestled
Dickie
or someone. Yeah.
Yeah, Dickie Mayer.
The main event of that evening was for the TV title. Is Royce Isaacs defending against Bateman, and Bateman was the champion at the time, but he actually did not use the cup for that initial match. But after some underhanded Ray Rosas-like tactics, you could say, from the champion, Bateman did use the cup in that moment to grant himself an immediate rematch, which worked out in his favor. So it's been successfully done before. Yeah. So even though it's been done before, it hasn't been done by you. So we don't know.
But to have 2 PP Cup titles together at the same time, so I cash in one and then cash in another. Yeah, so I will hold on to the cup, wait till next year, compete in the tournament again, win the tournament again, and then have 2 PP3 cups. We have to get a second cup. Yeah. Well, it's got to be some.
I say because we have the silver spotlight, or we did at least. I'm just.
There's no rule against it, so maybe it's something I can exploit. But
that's Ray Rosas in a nutshell. There's no rule against it.
You stumped the lead official.
I don't know. With the Long Beach shows coming up, the pay-per-views, and the partnership getting more solidified with the NWA. Is there even a possibility? There might be a possibility that I could cash in the PP3 Cup on the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
That's what I'm saying. I was just saying that a moment ago. It's any title that's defended within the United Wrestling Network. So if we're going to get into rules and the actual wording of it, I think you could argue that is valid.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what Nick Aldis thinks about that.
It doesn't matter what he thinks, because if I come out with that cup, bam, new champ.
Looks like EJ may be trying to get back in, Nick. I don't know if you see him there.
All right, I do. Let's get him in. Let's give it a shot. Let's see. EJ. Man, can you hear us?
Thank you. Sorry. We're having bad weather over here, and everyone that's watching over in Arizona is having connection problems at the moment. So,
yeah. Glad you're back.
Yeah, very happy you're back. So in your absence, Ray has said some very kind things about you. He said some more decisive things about you, and just about this, I guess, the status of the United Wrestling Network as a whole. So you've gone back and forth a little bit between Hollywood and Arizona, mostly Arizona, like we said. But you have made your stay in Hollywood several times. So I think most recently was against R3 at maybe Milestone for Hollywood in last December.
Yeah.
How does doing the event in California differ from the event out in Arizona?
Well, it's just a different group of fans that don't get to see me perform live as frequently as they do in Arizona, or the Arizona fans, I should say. So it's always good to go out there and, even though I'm not there a lot, I still get that energy from the crowd, and they're happy to see me and I'm happy to see them. So I love performing on that stage and hope to get back there pretty soon here.
Excellent. Yeah. And as we said, with the upcoming Primetime Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention right now. It was the fact that when EJ, the main difference should be that when EJ comes out to Hollywood, that he doesn't have the fans in his back pocket like he normally would in Arizona. That he's got to go out there and earn their favor. He does it. He's pretty exciting. He's very exciting. He earns it, but he's got to work a little harder when he comes to Hollywood. So that's the main difference.
That's true of any sport, though. The home field advantage, right?
Yeah, I don't have one anywhere. Yeah. I recently found that out.
You might have, say, home field experience, though.
Home field experience.
That's something else. Let's see. Let's see. See if
Well,
I
even if I
What are
don't
the
have
comments
that home
like?
court.
Let's see. Yep, cloudy weather in Arizona. Got that. Let's see.
We got to give Kelby a shout out. Looks like he's messaged us a few times there. Thanks for watching, Kelby.
I can only imagine all the backlog of signs I have to sign for Kelby
Hold on a
since
second.
we've been closed down.
Whoa, whoa!
Now it's a party.
Look
Or
who's here!
whatever you want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, for anyone unfamiliar, this is the first Arizona State champion. I believe still the longest reigning Arizona State champion. The Puerto Rican Pitbull, Gino Rivera. Gino, how's it been?
How you guys doing? I mean, I'm currently on a sabbatical from championship wrestling from Arizona since I don't know, almost a year now. It's been a long time. I see a lot has changed, right? EJ's been champion 3 times now since I've been gone. You guys, Ray over there with his title. How's everybody doing?
Pretty
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Ray, you said you actually faced Gino in that Arizona State tournament.
That's right. Yeah, Gino and I have a long history together. We came up in wrestling school together, long time ago. Long time. Mm-hmm.
And how far you've both come?
Right, that's right. Santino Bros, class of the first class 1 and 2. Me and Ray came up together, and Ray's still in it. I'm still in it. Probably one of the only ones still going today.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think EJ. Sorry, Ray. Go ahead.
No, I was just finished. Adding on to a statement. It's Gino's statement. But go ahead, Jeremy. You the man.
EJ, you remember facing Gino there, taking your first championship?
Of course. How could I forget?
Any memories of
You
your
look
feud?
super excited to see me, man.
I'm not excited to see EJ.
Yeah, of course.
EJ was the one that took me to my limit, and he took my title, right? So I'm definitely not excited to see him, but I can't wait to get back in the ring with him and embarrass him again in front of his family. You know what I mean? But he's got bigger fish to fry. I see, he's got to worry about Ray, and Ray ain't no joke. I've been in the ring with Ray. I've trained with Ray. I know what Ray's about. You know what I mean? EJ, you got another thing coming if you think you're gonna make that a 4th time, baby, and you know that, especially with me lurking in the background.
Oh, okay. That's funny. That's funny that you and Ray, you guys know each other like the back of your hand, because y'all do the same sneaky stuff. Y'all do whatever y'all got to do to try and take a championship or retain a championship. Y'all do whatever. That's totally fine. But you know what, Gino? You don't got a title for me to take right now. Ray right now is my #1 priority. And once I win my 4th championship, then you can come get it again too. Straight up.
There's a lot in that sentence. Rebuttals, Ray. Rebuttals, Gino. Commentary, Jeremy. I'm trying to stay in the middle of it.
Oh yeah. As a good official that you are. But
someone accused me of stroking your ego in our chat earlier for just naming things that you've successfully done. So I'm trying to. You're
just stating fact there.
That's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I think, Gino, I would like to ask you. So Ray brought this up when Ray was talking a little bit before. He, of course, had a lot to say about his matches with EJ, but eventually he talked about what he was able to bring out of EJ as a competitor and what levels that it challenged himself to. So it did take you. I mean, you and EJ Sparks had quite a while of going back and forth for the title. Well, not going back and forth at the title, but the momentum back and forth of the event matches themselves. So what did you see in EJ Sparks? I'd say that made you maybe have to take the tactics that you did to keep your title, and what did it bring out of him, you think, in the ring and as a television star?
I saw nothing in EJ. EJ is a chump. He always was a chump. He got lucky. He knows it. And guess what, EJ? I'm already telling you, I'm going to sign your fate right here, man. I'm already seeing your future. You're not going to get lucky with Ray. You could barely get through me. You could barely get through me. You hear what I'm saying? EJ, I got nothing for you. You're still a chump. 3 times. The only reason why you're 3 times of a champion, 3 times Arizona State champion is because I'm not there anymore. You understand me?
Okay. Real quick. So Nick, Jeremy, I have a question for you guys since he's kind of just talking and going on. So if I recall correctly, who was it that kicked him in the mouth to win their first Arizona State championship? And who was it that kicked him in the mouth to win their second Arizona State championship? I'm just leave that there.
I was there both of those times, I believe, making that count. And so at least for the first one, that was you, EJ. You were, yeah. And to retain. So,
Oof.
So you can call it luck, or you can call it skill, tenacity, and endurance. So, Gino, I'm gonna have to let you go in just a moment. Is there anything you'd like to say before we get back to
EJ,
our guest?
EJ, I'm not gonna wish you any luck because I know Ray's gonna take care of you once and for all. Me and Ray, we have our history, but don't get it twisted. We're not the best of friends, but I know Ray. I know what he's capable of. And let me tell you something, that man will hold on to what he's got. He'll do anything to hold on to what he's got. And EJ, you don't got it anymore. You don't have what it takes. You're not the man anymore. Ray's going to destroy you. He's going to take you out once and for all. I want you to sit down, think about what you're going to do. Think about what's going to happen. You're going to walk away again defeated. And once Ray breaks you down, I'm coming right after you.
All right, well, thank you for joining us tonight, Gino. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully. Always trying to stir the pot.
Usually, I don't usually agree with Gino, but I do have to agree with him right there.
What a show. Where's Evan Daniels to jump in and give Jay a hard time?
Wait, here's my Evan Daniels.
Still going.
That Evan Daniels guy damn near broke my neck one time. DDT'd me right through the mat. When he DDT'd me right through the mat, I remember having a headstand for at least a good 3 seconds. Vertical. So I better watch what I say.
Maybe that's what happened to you, Ray. Maybe that's what's kind of changed your outlook on professional wrestling a little bit. You don't seem to care since then. You haven't really cared much since then.
I think that's just it. I just learned to stop caring, and that's what got me this right here. Because if I cared, I would go and try to win this honorably and admirably. But since I don't care, I'm just gonna win it any way I can. Just like if this last man standing ever happens, EJ, know that I will do whatever I can to beat you and retain the title and keep it here in California, baby.
That's cute. Just remember, though, I don't got nothing to lose this time, so I'm going to do whatever I got to do to win my baby back. So you should think about that.
I'm going to think about that. You know what? I'm gonna go right now. I'm gonna let you guys finish your interview because the main focus here is on EJ Sparks, Phoenix's favorite son. Ray Rosas just comes, steals the show, and then leaves with the championship. So I'll see you guys later. EJ Sparks, remember to plug yourself, plug your opponent, and plug the network. See you later, fools.
Wow. EJ, I apologize. I did not know that you were going to take the brunt of both Ray and Gino in one episode here.
It's all good, brother. All good.
For sure.
How is your EJ? How has your attitude changed a little bit since you lost that title to Ray? It seemed like when we last saw you, you did have kind of a different demeanor about yourself. You had the leather jacket, you had the sunglasses. You came out with you looked like you had a larger chip on your shoulder than we'd ever seen before.
A little bit, because after losing the title for the third time, and every single time I've lost it, it's been, by a technicality, you tend to just stop caring, in a sense of, I'm not worried about being all smiles or being the nice guy, or we're going to go out there and put on a great match. No, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to whoop some butt and I'm going to take what's mine. And I don't really care what anybody else thinks about it, because I was done wrong. So I'm going to make it right however I got to.
I can get behind that.
Understandable.
Yeah. All right. So as we're winding down here, is there, I guess, anything that you? I know a lot has been said in the past hour. A lot of things have been coming at you. Is there anything that you haven't been able to say, or that you're looking to do that you have not had the opportunity to do in United or on television?
So Ray Rosas aside, because we all know that I'm still coming after that. I have mentioned before that I want to make my mark in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, because I am over there just a few times a year. But something that I do want to do over there is I want to go for the television championship over there. So Dan Joseph, again, I think I want to lay out a challenge to him and, make my mark over there in Hollywood.
That's my broadcast tag partner right there, Dan Joseph.
That's right. Well, that's certainly something I would really like to see in the future. Do note that Dan is a much different competitor than Ray Rosas. You might not find any cheating or anything like that, but it would be unfair to call Dan anything less than a super athlete, I would say. So maybe not the most, I would say. He's not going to go to the extremes that Ray Rosas will, but he'll take you to extremes that Ray Rosas could not on the other side of things. So as you're preparing for that and as you're continuing with everything, think about, I would say, maybe focus on your evasiveness and stuff like that. You do have quite a bit of agility. So Dan is very athletic, but he is, I'd say he could be a bit, maybe a step behind you if you're able to train for that. So if I were to give you one tip, I would say focus on your agility. Everything else will fall into place. But if I can just tell you what you of course you can do whatever you want. You're the athlete.
Coach Bonanno right there.
Yeah, put me in. I'm putting myself in because I'm the coach. That's how sports work.
That would be a fun match. Hopefully Peter Avalon is watching here in Arizona, or David Marquez is watching in Hollywood, because I'd love to see that match for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, EJ. Folks who are watching can see your Twitter handle there, your social media. But where anyone listening only, where can they catch you online?
So that is my Twitter handle, but it's also my Instagram handle at The Real EJ Sparks. I'm very active on Instagram, more than Twitter, but I'm on Twitter as well. And of course, I'm on Facebook, just under EJ Sparks. And if you want to watch any of my content, any of my matches, interviews, or any of my training sessions, you can follow me on YouTube. Just search EJ Sparks, and I'm right there.
And your dance routines. Don't forget the dance routines.
Yeah, that too.
I am going to check those out. I'm going to follow you on Instagram right now. Jeremy, same. What you got? What can we look forward to, and where we might find you and things going on online?
Yeah, I'm just at Jeramie. My handle's right there on the screen if you're watching, Jeramie, and that's on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And want to give a shout out, thanks to everybody that's watching and joining us tonight. It looks like Papa Sparks is watching from Florida. I see that comment right now on the old Twitter Periscope. So Papa Sparks is watching you, EJ. So that's pretty cool. But thank you guys for everybody watching us tonight. And Nick, thank you for hosting this and trying to keep everybody from getting too out of control there.
Trying, the success of that can be up to the viewers. But I appreciate the sentiment in that, Jeremy. So, of course, I'm at Nicholas Bonanno. Follow United Wrestling Network on Twitter at United Wrestling, and at United Wrestling Network on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And, of course, as we just announced this week, September 15th, we are going live on pay-per-view every single week. United Primetime Live. Check it out. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be something you've never seen before. So anyone, and of course, tune into Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. We're currently going through best of, so stuff that you may never have seen before because it's been pulled out of the archives. Same Championship Wrestling from Arizona, exciting action every single week, and featuring heavily on EJ Sparks. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. Whether I knew who was going to be here or not, something is always going on. So thank you again for joining us, everybody. And a shout out to everybody who networks with United. Thank you. Have a good evening.